Feel depressed? Do your students have behavior problems? Do you have a behavior problem? Is your classroom boring, uninspiring? Are you all unmotivated? Slowly drowning in the mundane insanity of conventional learning environments? If this sounds like you or anyone else you know, contact us right now for a free school consultation for today's 21st century students and teachers. Because here at Pineapples Not Apples consulting firm for revolutionary educational movement, we've gathered the latest and greatest thoughts of restructuring learning environment paradigms, and we're here to share our expertise with you. Free movement schools are ideal. What do walls do to us? Walls are boundaries. They isolate, emphasize conformity, and restrict movement, both physical and intellectual. At Pineapples Not Apples, we advocate for and help transition schools from closed-door classrooms to free movement schools. In our free movement learning environments, we allow students the opportunity to self-conduct education with teachers as facilitators. John Dewey advocated for teachers to act as guides, helping children on their self-journey of education. With fewer walls and fewer boundaries, students don't feel trapped physically or psychologically. With space, students can explore their ideas and challenge traditional thinking. Let's now listen to a testimony from Miss Spicer, an educator at New Pineapples location.
Tell us about your Pineapple School experience.
Well, if I'm honest, I have to say I was pretty horrified when I found out. When I knew that the administrators had been consulting with Pineapples Not Apples, I was pretty shocked. Felt like it was going to be an enormous amount of work, pretty much overwhelming, the transition period. And honestly, for myself, I thought it would probably fail. The Pineapples people came in and they were awesome, and I'm thinking, oh yeah, that's great, that's what they do, and we're all getting together and we're getting this team feeling, and they're giving us all this wonderful information, and I kind of thought, well, all right, I'll give it a shot. The trainers were talking about physical and metaphysical walls coming down, and how advantageous that was for student learning. And they also talked about the social and the emotional connections that can be so advantageous in a learning environment. And I thought about that for a while, and I really began to realize that those very walls were probably keeping me from growing and learning as well.
Describe what goes on at a Pineapple School.
I will admit, it can be pretty stressful, it can be very loud. And you begin to realize that freedom of expression and all the noise and all the brainstorming and debating is a good thing. The process is a little bit like this. We observe our students and we talk to them, and we are constantly interacting with every individual student, teachers, administrators, counselors, and we are always trying to figure out, okay, where are we going to go next? We have state curriculum guidelines to meet, and so we're constantly looking for the feedback from the students. And when we get that, as colleagues, administrators and teachers, we get together and we go over this material, and we try to make sure that whatever the students want to do, we make sure it meets our objectives and our guidelines. And it's very student-driven because it starts with what they want to do. One of my favorite things that we do at this school is that we have every single day, we have a school-wide breakfast together. That's how we start our day. We get together, we eat, we talk. It's teachers and administrators and students of all ages, students of all interests, and we bond. A very, very positive, and I think it's a great way to start the day for learning.
I didn't come from a bad school, actually. I was an A student before Pineapples, but I was only doing the bare minimum. Basically, I was just trying to get a grade. Now it's different. Before, I learned what the teacher told me to learn, and now I'm much more engaged in the process and learning what I want to learn. It's hard, though. I wasn't used to figuring out what I wanted to learn or how I wanted to learn it, and now I have to take responsibility for that. Teachers help, but the process is much different than a conventional learning school.
Tell us about one of your favorite activities.
Oh yeah, that's easy because I came up with it.
What did you come up with?
Well, there's this lady. She lives near my home, and I saw her every day on the way to school. She's homeless. She has no one. She lives on the street. And I started giving her half of my lunch on my way to school. And one day, I just thought, why not more? Why can't I do more for this lady? So I went to school, and I signed up to give an informational speech, or forum as we call them here, on what I wanted to do. And that was basically to help find, Felicity is her name by the way, help find Felicity a home. Everyone supported my idea, but they had doubts too, because finding someone a home is a complicated process, and I found that out. We all found that out. Miss Spicer, she went a long way, because when I came with her with my idea, she turned it on me and asked me what I wanted to do about it. Well, she and the other teachers, they helped us. They taught us how to contact local representatives, how to write persuasive and informational letters, basically, pleading for help. But in the end, we were successful. We found Felicity a home. She lives in a group home now, and she writes me letters here at school, and I write her letters. Those same local community leaders that we contacted to help Felicity, we have used them multiple times now for different projects with different kids. So we're all involved. This project really showed me that what I do matters, that I can take charge of my own education and use that education in my local community. Actually use it to help someone, not just put it in my head for some standardized test. Pineapples, Not Apples showed me that my education was about me.
Pineapples, Not Apples, a free movement school for free movement thinking. Not for those opposed to progress.